made the decision to paint all the wood in this one particular room the blandest shade of beige. Why would anyone in their right mind ever paint over wood? Better yet, why would anyone paint over wood in only one room? Once we moved into One Fairway Lane and we became better acquainted with our next-door neighbor, Bob Kravitz, we discovered our answer. The man who lived in the home before us was in the process of renovating when he suffered a heart attack and passed away at the not-so-old age of 64. While this incident was indeed unfortunate, I couldn't help thinking how our historic property was spared from poor judgment on the part of its previous owner. The dead man, however, created far more work for us. For almost 18 months, I was bound and determined to strip the painted wood clean and restore the trim to its original splendor. I realized the procedure would be both tedious and painstaking. But once we decided in our early 30s to purchase our forever home, JP and I made a vow. If we were going to do it, we'd do it right. Pete! Before I had the chance to get started, I heard my partner call out my name from downstairs. Up here, hon! I shouted back from the top of the stepladder. JP stuck his head in the guest bedroom doorway. He stared at me strangely, like he'd never seen me in the midst of renovating, despite all the projects we tackled together on national television. What's up? What's it look like? As if the container of citrus-based paint stripper on the floor by my side wasn't evidence enough. Well, how long are you gonna be? First, I needed to use a heat gun to melt the layer of latex, causing it to bubble up and easily be scraped away using a 1-inch putty knife. Next, after applying a generous coat of baby aspirin orange-colored gel, I'd give the product a good half hour to work its magic. Once the timer on my cell phone went off, I'd vigorously rub a small wire brush over the molding back and forth to loosen up any bits of remaining pigment. After waiting another 20 minutes or so, I'd take a heavy-duty green scrub pad, lightly soaked in mineral spirits, and wipe clean any trace of the putrid mess created by my efforts. With the new wood now a dull gray-brown, the final steps of this process involved applying 2 fresh coats of oil-based stain, followed by an equal amount of polyurethane. In total, the project could consume the better part of a week, if not longer, depending on other daily commitments. But, for the sake of simplicity, I shrugged and told JP, "Not sure. Is it time to walk Clyde?" Because we still hadn't gotten around to building a backyard fence, our 15-month-old Beagle Bull required a series of daily strolls in order to sufficiently do his business. Once around Fairway Lane before breakfast, a trip to the local dog park in the early afternoon, and a midday jaunt over to the west side of town. An after-dinner trot took the happy puppy and his proud dog daddies around the block yet again, while a slightly longer pre-bed promenade would traverse the neighborhood's east side. "I can take him if you're busy," JP offered. "You should probably stop and shower soon." Groaning, I asked, "When are we supposed to be there?" 5 o'clock. We've got like 40 minutes till we need to head up to Royal Heights. A part of me was looking forward to this evening for the past several weeks. Another part wanted to stay home and continue working on this guest bedroom project. Not that we expected any guests anytime soon. In the almost year and a half we lived in our house, my sister was the only person to ever stay over, and only because she got into an argument with her husband on that particular night. Descending the ladder, I set my heat gun aside on the antique barrister bookcase. Beforehand, I made sure to drape it with a drop cloth, thanks to a valuable lesson I learned during my brief stint as a home renovation TV show co-host. When painting or staining woodwork, cover any object you don't want to see ruined, including the carpet and/or floor, because you will drip paint onto your baseboards, or fling paint stripper onto your new Pottery Barn end table, leaving a permanent blemish you will never remove. "Guess the guest room can wait," I sighed. "Maybe I'll finish it in time for our house's centennial celebration." Already, I plan to throw a big party on our future back patio and invite all our family, friends, and neighbors who still hadn't seen the place, other than on TV, since we first moved in, going on 2 years ago. JP shook his head at me soberly. "I thought you'd be more excited. You're finally meeting the director of your play." "Our play," I said, not wanting to take full credit just because I penned